Welcome back to another inspiring chapter. This time we explore the life of a dynamic entrepreneur, sharp investor, and visionary businessman. Let's step right into his world. Some people make a mark in one industry, some build one successful company, and then there are those rare few whose fingerprints are scattered across dozens of the most iconic startups in Silicon Valley. Keith Rabois is one of them. From his early days at Stanford through PayPal, LinkedIn, Square, and beyond, his journey is filled with brilliance, controversy, bold bets, and an unshakable instinct for spotting what's next. But what makes his story even more fascinating is not just the list of companies he touched, but the twists, the setbacks, and the unexpected turns that shaped his path. Keith Rabois was born on March 17, 1969, in Edison, New Jersey. From a young age, he displayed a sharp intellect and an eagerness to challenge rules. He went on to Stanford University, where he earned his Bachelor of Arts in Political Science in 1991. Later, he pursued law, completing his juris doctor from Harvard Law School in 1994. At Stanford, Rabois encountered a network that would define much of his future. Among those connections was Peter Thiel, co-founder and editor of the Stanford Review, a libertarian newspaper. Rabois joined the publication, contributing articles and forging a bond with Thiel that would endure throughout his career. Yet his college years weren't without controversy. In a widely reported incident, Rabois and several others shouted homophobic slurs outside an instructor's home, even making remarks suggesting the instructor die of AIDS. Stanford reprimanded him, but Rabois later claimed it was a deliberate challenge to campus speech codes. The controversy could have derailed him, but instead it strengthened his alliance with Peter Thiel, who defended Rabois in his book, The Diversity Myth: Multiculturalism and Political Intolerance on Campus. After law school, Rabois began his career as a law clerk for the United States Court of Appeals for the Fifth Circuit. He then spent nearly 4 years at Sullivan Cromwell, gaining experience as a litigator. In 1999, he briefly entered politics, serving as an advisor to Dan Quayle's presidential campaign. But his real transformation came in the early 2000s, when he pivoted away from law and politics into technology. In November 2000, Rabois joined PayPal as executive vice president, overseeing business development, public affairs, and policy. His work played a significant role in shaping PayPal's growth strategy and global influence. This experience earned him a place in the legendary PayPal Mafia, the network of PayPal alumni, including Elon Musk, Peter Thiel, and Reid Hoffman, who went on to dominate the tech landscape. After PayPal, Rabois joined LinkedIn from January 2005 to May 2007, serving as vice president for business and corporate development. These were LinkedIn's formative years, and Rabois helped shape its strategy and partnerships. Around this time, his reputation as an early-stage investor was building. He made pivotal investments in Yelp, Zoom, YouTube, Yammer, Palantir, Lyft, Airbnb, Eventbrite, Quora, and Wish.com, all before they became household names. His knack for identifying transformative startups became clear. In 2010, Keith joined Square as chief operating officer. There, he designed the operational backbone that would fuel its rise in the world of digital payments. His leadership cemented Square's future success. But in January 2013, he left Square amid allegations of sexual harassment from an employee. Rabois insisted the relationship was consensual, but Square acknowledged his departure, citing poor judgment. It was a difficult chapter, but it didn't end his career. By March 2013, Rabois had reinvented himself again, this time as a venture capitalist at Khosla Ventures. He stayed until 2019, serving in various capacities, including board observer at Scribby after Khosla's investment in the company in 2015. In 2019, he joined Founders Fund as a general partner, co-founding OpenStore, a Miami-based retail holding startup aimed at acquiring Shopify brands. OpenStore raised $750 million valuation in 2021, underscoring his continued ability to build from scratch. Then, in January 2024, he returned to Khosla Ventures as one of 5 managing directors, while still keeping ties with Founders Fund, representing them on the boards of Ramp, Found, and Trade Republic. Keith didn't just invest, he also built. In April 2014, he co-founded Opendoor, a revolutionary platform that streamlined home buying and selling. Opendoor later went public via a SPAC in 2020, reshaping real estate forever. In 2018, he invested in the Alliance of American Football, AAF, alongside Peter Thiel and Peter Chernin, even joining its board of directors. Though the league didn't last, it showed Rabois' willingness to take risks outside of tech. He later co-founded OpenStore and Y Ventures, continuing his entrepreneurial streak. Rabois' track record in venture capital is extraordinary. He led investments in DoorDash, IPO in 2020, and Affirm, IPO in 2021. His biggest recent bet was on Ramp, a fintech startup that soared from an 8.1B valuation after its Series D in 2022. These successes landed him multiple times on the Forbes Midas list, ranking as high as #4 in the US and #8 globally. Some of his recent investments include Ramp Financial Software, Palm Tree Crew Accessories, Forward Clinics, Outpatient, Rome Application Software, Delphi Business, Productivity Software, Ghost Autonomy, Business Production, Pietra Business, Productivity Software, Up and Up Real Estate Services, B2C. Keith's influence also extends into politics. In April 2013, he became a major contributor to FWD.US, supporting immigration reform. In 2020, he publicly said he would vote for Donald Trump over Bernie Sanders. He also voiced support for Pete Buttigieg during the Democratic primaries. In 2023, he praised Florida's Parental Rights and Education Act, sparking debates about his political leanings. Beyond business, Keith Rabois' personal journey is just as eventful. In 2015, he purchased a home in Glen Park with ambitious renovation plans including a penthouse, basketball court, and sauna, though neighbors resisted. In 2018, he married Jacob Helberg in St. Barthélemy, with Sam Altman officiating the ceremony. In 2020, he moved from California to Miami, symbolizing both personal change and alignment with Miami's emerging role as a tech hub. Keith Rabois' story is one of bold bets, controversial moments, and transformative influence. From PayPal to LinkedIn, Square to Opendoor, Founders Fund to Khosla Ventures, his journey has touched almost every corner of Silicon Valley and beyond. Whether it's politics, venture capital, or entrepreneurship, Rabois has proven time and again that he is unafraid to take risks, challenge norms, and step into uncharted territory. And as his latest ventures continue to grow, one thing is clear: Keith Rabois isn't finished yet. His story is still unfolding. A man of controversy, vision, and relentless drive, Keith Rabois remains one of Silicon Valley's most fascinating figures.